Hi, this video is designed to help people modify internal assessments for classical studies to suit a context that's going to be better for their students. So all I've done here is I went and downloaded one of the Level 2 Achievement Standard resources, internal assessment resources from TKI. You cannot use these as they are. It's quite clear about that on the website, and your principal's nominee will have of course told you that information. So what I'm going to do instead is use this as a template to suit the context that I want. I don't want to assess the students on architecture for art's sake. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't suit my linked concepts. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and change it. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this reference title because that's not relevant. And I don't know what it is yet, but I'll think of some amazing title, so I'm going to get rid of that too. I have to keep the achievement standard number and the credit value and the version number, which is all on the front page, so I'm going to leave those as they are. This part here is sufficiently generic, so I'm going to leave that as it is, and I'm just going to start with the teacher guidelines. So the first thing I'm going to think about is the context. I like the wording of this. It allows my students to aim for excellence, so I'm going to change the relationship between classical architecture and modern architecture, because that's not what it is that I'm looking at. So I'm going to make mine about ideas about laws and justice. So the relationship is between classical and modern ideas and values about law, justice and democracy. In their explanation, students can consider the intended effects, blah, blah, blah. No, they can't. Students should consider the incorporation of ideas and values into modern context, ideas and values of law, justice, and democracy into modern systems of government. Of course, I believe that students can use any medium, and they will discuss that with me. They have to use primary source evidence, and they should use secondary source evidence, so all of this remains the same. The conditions will change though. I like the idea of 3 weeks of class time and homework time, but that depends of course on your school. I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to say that they can be assessed individually. There is no reason that they couldn't do a group task. However, I'll make sure that I've seen enough to make sure that it's authentic, and that I'm going to ask, as it says here, for a bibliography. Because this isn't relevant, I'm going to get rid of the stuff about the tour, and instead I'm going to select... No, I'm probably going to get rid of that as well. That doesn't seem that relevant to my students, because I'm going to leave it a little bit more open-ended. I know that I need to provide some sources. Because of the context that I've chosen, there's actually a level 1 assessment for 1.5a that has looking at the operation of government and democracy. So I know that all of those sources are going to be really useful, so I'm going to add them in here. So there's a list of things. This is not an exhaustive list, and I'm going to add that point in as well. This. Okay, so that's done. There's stuff here about using an inquiry. I think a process of inquiry is really important, and I'm going to scaffold that for my students. Now that I've made the changes here, I need to make the changes in other parts of the task as well.